out of those 3 matches were for the title. CM Punk and Chris Jericho gave us phenomenal wrestling matches, not just with Chris Jericho. CM Punk gave us some of the best matches of his career. Look at the matches he had with Daniel Bryan that weren't even for the WWE Championship. They were competitive matches that really put pure wrestling on display in a way that no other wrestling match between 2 new talented superstars could 2 or 3 years ago. And it wasn't until the midpoint of 2012 that WWE realized, hey, we should be making these matches championship matches because of how much they're getting over with wrestling fans. Fan support is divided down the middle, and this match is good enough to being put on pay-per-view. And WWE finally started giving us matches involving CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, regardless if they were one-on-one matches or triple threat matches with another superstar thrown in there as a contender for the title. At least we were getting offerings of CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, and that was something that wrestling fans couldn't get enough of. And something else wrestling fans couldn't get enough of were these promos that CM Punk were coming out and cutting. I mean, everyone was excited to find out what CM Punk was going to be saying next on an open microphone in a WWE ring, especially on a live show like Monday Night Raw, especially after that inaugural promo he cut. It was described as the CM Punk rant, and I put it over as being one of the most controversial conclusions to a Raw since the Attitude Era. I referred to that a lot in my written columns following that rant from CM Punk in Vegas in 2011, shortly after he became the #1 contender for the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. We all remember how that storyline went, with CM Punk walking out of the company the night of winning the WWE Championship. Literally minutes after winning the championship, he walked out on his contract, and he was gone for 2.5 weeks before he made his return. He returned shortly before SummerSlam to challenge John Cena in a champion versus champion match, one of the best matches of that entire series. And a few months after that, we got an incredible match between CM Punk and John Cena for the title in John Cena's hometown. That was incredible seeing that match because it ended in a no contest with a double pin on both John Cena and CM Punk. So taking a look back at some of CM Punk's matches, it wasn't that CM Punk wasn't a good wrestler and WWE were frustrated with the direction of his character. I just think there were a lot of confliction with CM Punk's character and CM Punk himself not wanting to be a part of WWE. What it came down to were a lot of personal issues that Phil Brooks, the person, was battling, and I think that really is what led to CM Punk wanting to leave the WWE because of what his real-life personality was battling from day to day, working with the WWE. In his mind, I think CM Punk wanted to be the best, and he wanted to convince every wrestling fan that he was the best and as good as what he said he was being. And anytime you can convince someone that you are the best at what you do and the best at professional wrestling, for example, then you know you're doing something right. And he had a lot of people convinced that he was the best. I remember back when CM Punk lost the championship to The Rock, and they were described as pissed-off Punk fans. There was a cult of CM Punk fans that were really feeling deprived because CM Punk was no longer the WWE champion, and the longest reign of a champion we had witnessed in the past 25 years came to the end of someone who brought the title to Hollywood to promote things that he was doing outside of the WWE, and in essence, because of everything that happened from CM Punk losing the championship at the Royal Rumble last year, they were described as CM Punk pissed off fans, and there were a cult of CM Punk fans, and it just goes to show how supportive CM Punk fans were of CM Punk being the WWE champion. So it wasn't that he couldn't get over with wrestling fans. I just think it came from a lot of confliction with his character and Phil Brooks, the person, not wanting to be a part of WWE anymore, and that's why we are where we are with the CM Punk status and the WWE and just professional wrestling in general. But I do think that door is going to remain open for CM Punk to return and re-sign with the WWE. He mentions all the time WWE are trying to offer him a lucrative contract that will keep him under contract with the company and keep him working with them for a number of years. It's just CM Punk doesn't want to sign a lucrative contract with WWE. He wants to be free to do what he wants to do when it comes to professional wrestling. If he wants to wrestle in a major company like WWE or TNA, he's going to do it. If he wants to wrestle on the independent circuit, then he's more than freely to do it. He wants to do what he wants to do with his wrestling career. He doesn't want to be on a string when it comes to a company and being told what to do. He wants to come out and have an open microphone to be able to say what he wants on it. But the thing is, unless you're a status of a Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin, you're not going to be able to come out and say what you want on live television. You're pretty much scripted what to say and what to do with your character, and I think that's really where CM Punk's frustration is coming from. He wants to be on the same level of a Rock or Steve Austin, and he's a long way away from doing it, and that is what the reality of all this is. The WWE does not revolve around CM Punk, and it does not revolve around one particular person. It is a joint effort between everybody, and CM Punk in his own mind believes that he's just as good as The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'm not saying that he isn't. I'm thinking that CM Punk just wants to be a Rock or Steve Austin sooner than than the WWE wants him to be, and that's why this has happened for CM Punk, and it's just so unfortunate that it's happened, and I'm really frustrated, just like a lot of wrestling fans are, over the departure of CM Punk, especially now that we have only one champion in the WWE. If you remember back to when they had the WWE title in the World Heavyweight Championship, there was so much confliction over who was the man and who was the definitive champion in the WWE. Now CM Punk could have been the man in the WWE, representing all the brands of WWE as an enterprise, as the champion, but now because CM Punk is gone, he'll never have a chance of being the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, or at least until he returns, and I really want to see CM Punk and other new talented superstars like Daniel Bryan get that opportunity, the same opportunity that Randy Orton's been given, and the same opportunity Dave Bautista is going to be given at WrestleMania 30. And I would also love to see CM Punk wrestling people like Brock Lesnar more often and Dave Bautista more often, because of how impressive CM Punk was in that match with Brock Lesnar last year at SummerSlam. One of the best CM Punk matches of CM Punk's revertedness from being someone who was a nobody in WWE to being someone who was described as one of the most popular superstars of the new talented industry. If you go back to the match with CM Punk and Brock Lesnar last year at SummerSlam, it was the definition of pure wrestling. It was a no-holds-barred match. Anything went in the match. You had Paul Heyman getting involved on the outside of the ring. I could have went for no interference from Paul Heyman, but it really added a lot of emotion to the match and the match's outcome. But CM Punk came so close in his exchange with Brock Lesnar to actually winning the match that it was truly unbelievable. He hit the GTS on Brock Lesnar at one point in the match, and you thought CM Punk pretty much had the match in the bag, but then Paul Heyman gets involved, interjects himself. Brock Lesnar capitalizes off a distraction and hits the F5 on a steel chair. CM Punk gets pinned, and then CM Punk pretty much goes from wrestling people like Brock Lesnar to mid-card talents that aren't even on his same level. I think if CM Punk were to come back to the WWE, he needs to come back in the way that he left the company, on top, and he needs to be wrestling people like Dave Bautista, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar all the time. That will keep CM Punk happy with his status in the company, regardless if he's champion or not, and that will keep him under contract with the company for a number of years. If you bring CM Punk back for the second half of his WWE career and have him wrestling people like The Shield all the time, then you're still going to have that same amount of confliction that you had prior to CM Punk returning to the company, so you don't want that. You want to bring CM Punk back at a level that he was at in 2011, when he was the longest reigning champion in the history of the company. I'll never forget the night that reign incepted. It was at the Survivor Series in New York in 2011. He defeated Alberto Del Rio, who was the reigning WWE champion. Alberto Del Rio was just coming off an impressive triple threat Hell in a Cell match and winning the championship twice from CM Punk and John Cena in his career, and then Alberto Del Rio goes from winning the championship at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view the previous October to losing to CM Punk at the following pay-per-view, the Survivor Series event, and that was the inception of the longest reign of a WWE champion in the past 25 years, surpassing the reigns. Taking a look at some of these statistics of Hulk Hogan from 91 and Bret Hart from 94, and that says a lot about how far CM Punk has come. He's done a lot in his career, even though it's a short career. If you take a look back at some of the years that CM Punk has spent in the WWE, it's a very short career when it comes to a career with the WWE, but he has done so much in the past at least 7 through 8 years. Defeating people like Daniel Bryan and Kane says a lot in a championship reign, because Kane is a legend and Daniel Bryan is known all over the world wrestling on the independent level. So was CM Punk, but not quite as much as what Daniel Bryan was. In my opinion, Daniel Bryan got a far more amount of opportunities than what CM Punk was given during his time on the independent level. So to say that you defended the championship successfully against Kane and Daniel Bryan says a lot about a reign, and there were so many people that CM Punk also had a chance to wrestle against and defend that championship successfully against in matches like Chris Jericho. The Chris Jericho CM Punk match from WrestleMania 28 is another great example of pure wrestling. These matches between Jericho and Punk were the definition of pure wrestling, but that one particular encounter, their inaugural encounter when Chris Jericho came back that year to solidify himself as the best in the world, because he believed he was the best in the world. And the match where the best in the world went up against the best in the world, that was the definition of pure wrestling, and the absolute best match, in my opinion, of CM Punk's entire reign as WWE Champion. From his matches with Kane, Daniel Bryan, John Cena, his match with Chris Jericho really put his reign as WWE Champion over the top, and that's the match that made his reign as champion, arguably the greatest reign of a champion in the past 25 years. I want your comments and feedback on CM Punk and him leaving the WWE. Do you think this sets WWE back? Unquestionably, it certainly does. Sets CM Punk back a little bit and sets the WWE back quite a ways. Do you think CM Punk will return? Let me know where your frustration lies with the departure of CM Punk. I will be archiving this video for you on our YouTube channel, and I'm welcoming your suggestions and your comments on the status of WWE following the departure of CM Punk and how you think they're going to rebound off of it. You can leave me your comments at the bottom of this YouTube video at Jonathan Clarke 22 by tweeting me your opinion at Jonathan Clarke 1 and by joining our conversation on our Facebook page at HGW Entertainment. Let me know where your frustration lies with the departure of CM Punk. Are you one of the millions of pissed off Punk fans by the way CM Punk has been treated over the past few months, going from wrestling people like The Rock, The Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar in impressive pay-per-view matches that were good enough to be the final match of pay-per-views like WrestleMania? How do you feel about CM Punk going from wrestling people like Brock Lesnar all the time to wrestling people like R-Truth in matches that mean nothing? The question that I have is, how does CM Punk go from wrestling someone like Brock Lesnar to being a tag team partner of someone like R-Truth? It is totally unacceptable, and in some ways, in a lot of ways really, you can understand why CM Punk left the WWE when he did, walking out on the WWE, the contract, and all of its fans. You can tell me where your frustration lies on our Facebook at HGW Entertainment, on our Twitter at Jonathan Clarke 1, and on our YouTube channel at Jonathan Clarke 22, and I'm looking forward to hearing what your opinions are on this. And when we come back from this brief commercial break, I'll have a song from One Direction, their latest to come out on the Billboard charts. It's off their album Midnight Memories. It's called Diana, and I'll have it for you when we come back from this brief commercial break, and I will see you next week. Get in on the conversation by signing up for the official form of HGW Entertainment through our website. You can do that by filling in a form which takes 90 seconds to create an account for. Once you do that, you can join the conversation with anything you find on this website or here on this radio show, and I will see you next week. One Direction off their album Midnight Memories, and Diana is coming at you next.
When something takes place in the world of professional wrestling, you know